Pollution from recycling companies has become a pressing issue impacting both livelihoods and health. In this edition of Green Angle, we bring you the untold stories of health concerns and challenges faced by the people of Ogijo as we uncover the truth behind their struggle for clean air and a brighter tomorrow. Welcome. I am Esther Makwariola. It has become a regular sight along Lagos-Abeokuta Highway. Polluted skies from the emissions of recycling companies along Ogijo in Ogun State. For nearly a decade, communities here have endured this pollution, and it's taken a toll on their health.
We are suffering. We are suffering here, but we are trying to manage ourselves. It's not proper. What they cannot do in their country, they are doing it here. A lot of people, they pack out from their home. They are killing us.
When my wife was sick, I took him to Idiaraba. When we do the test, she was asked, "Are you smoking?" I said, "No." "Where are you staying?" I told the man, "We are staying in a polluted environment." So in this area, you will see some people coughing. They cough out dust. Now, because if you wake up in the midnight, you will see because it was in the night that they used to open their funnel, that everywhere, because they know in the afternoon people will be at home. But when you are asleep, they will open their funnel. Then everything will come out. So you cannot even open your window.
Mẹ́ta tí mo kó dé àdúgbò yìí lọ. Nísàlẹ̀ ń bí báyìí, ilé ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀, àwọn ọmọ mẹ́ta kan wọ́n ṣaláìsí níbẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké. Wọ́n dẹ̀ gbé àwọn ọmọ yẹn lọ sí hospital. Ìgbà tó máa dissect, wọ́n sọ pé àyà wọn ó ti block fún smoke. There are a lot of our chairman tá a ní níbí báyìí. Wọ́n ti ń lọ bá wọn tipẹ́tipẹ́. I think a lot of people are collecting money or whatever from them. That is why tó fi dàbí ẹni pé wọn ò jẹ́ ká rí ọ̀rọ̀ sọ. Ìbáwọn company really ń bẹ̀ yẹn. Wọn ò tí irú pálapàla tó ń ṣe. Wọ́n tọ́jú gbogbo àwọn ará àdúgbò wọn ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ fi báyé wọn jẹ́. Àwọn kan ló wà ní other side lọ́hùn yẹn. Ẹ wo bọ́n ṣe ṣe gbogbo àdúgbò wọn níbẹ̀. Wọn ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ fi báyé wọn jẹ́ níbẹ̀ yẹn.
One of the steel recycling companies tried to help by building a well. It also built this clinic, but it wasn't functional when we visited.
So when I have issue with my health, I normally go to Ogijo. And Ogijo is far from here. I will enter bike from here to Ogijo 200 naira. When I'm coming back is 300 naira. That's 500 naira in a day.
Some locals say these companies go as far as giving bread and milk as a makeshift solution to ease the health risks.
We went to them to meet their chairman then, even twice when I was the chairman. They only promised. After what they would do is to give you a package, in which I refused. So when they see that I'm coming, that chairman is coming, they will tell them say that they are not around because I don't collect the packaging.
Behind me, you can see the level of air pollution in this environment, and even though it is risky, some residents here still sell their wares, and even vendors sell very close to these foundries just because they need the money. They don't have many other ways to make a living, so they feel like they have no choice.
The smoke is affecting business. It's affecting even me also. That's why I don't used to allow my baby to stay here. So I'll send them home. Immediately they came back from school, I will send them home.
Some areas, like in Ikeja, the people live side by side with the companies operating because these companies obey the Federal Environmental Protection Agency regulations. The guidelines for control of pollution and emission from their respective factories, they are there. But it appears these companies are not obeying the guidelines. They are not following it.
I know I have my co-landlord now who is extremely sick presently at home, and cannot go to work because of these problems of the inhaling of the dust particles. So everywhere is just like that. Although some are leaving that property without having to collect anything from them, but they are not leaving it for them as if they have sold it to them. But because they are not unable to continue to live there again, that is one reason why they left.
We got a chance to speak with one of the managers handling a tire recycling company in this community. Using phone as a spy camera, he admitted that the state environmental agencies turn a blind eye to the pollution.
And they said we are polluting the area and this and that. Okay, how are we polluting the area? They said that black carbon, which now we've controlled it. It does not even come out again. So if you want to see people that are polluting the area, that are spoiling the area, you just wait to finish 5. Then you come and stand there, then you see the real people who will not be polluting the area. You won't see me or you. Yes. Everywhere we feel the smoke, as you can see. So just chill. Just chill. I've told government people they've come here, anytime they enter there, they drive, the next thing they smile and come outside.
When Ogepa come last, I'll not tell you, they wrong.
Ogepa came here, they say like, they carry camera, so truly it's not your company. I said, wait, Baba. They said, no, I said, wait. I had to give them nose masks. They wanted to run, I said, wait, don't run. And they stood, they videoed everything. They went in there. I even drove with them. I parked there. They went in there, met them, and as Nigerians, they came out smiling, and they went back.
In the meantime, the National Environmental Standards and Regulatory Enforcement Agency claims they sanction companies breaking the rules, but the pollution continues.
Every facility is subjected to apply for permits. There's a department at the headquarters of the agency, that's NESTRA. Every department is subjected to apply for that permit. And when you're applying for that permit, your report will be included. A committee is set up at the headquarters. They will look at what you have, what you are emitting, your pollution abatement technology, what you use in addressing those things. At the end of the day, they will now issue, okay, based on this technology that you have put in place, based on what you have had to address all these issues, that is in terms of pollution emissions, okay, they will now base that one to issue you, okay, a kind of approval to go and pay a certain amount. But if it is discovered that the rate of pollution, your abatement technology is not really functional, you'll be liable for it. The agency will ask you to pay heavily for it, heavily as a deterrent, so that next time you'll be able to fix it. And also, in every state and the zonal offices, we carry out our assessment. We call it compliance monitoring inspections. We go to this facility, we look at what they have, we assess what they have. Like you mentioned Ogijo the other time, in addition to what we do, there's a kind of, we have like green calls. We try to look at what these facilities are doing. We assess it with the report they send in. We also do our own assessment. Once we see that, okay, after giving you the action plan, and we still discover that you are still polluting, because what I meant by action plan is that, okay, within so-so period to so-so period, you are expected to have put this one in place, then so-so period to another period, put another one in place. But when it is found out that the facility is found wanting, by not doing that, then we'll come back again and seal the facility. We have been doing that.
But how sincere is government in reducing carbon emissions?
Nigeria signed to the Kyoto Protocol on as far as reduction of greenhouse gases is concerned, and on a yearly basis or regularly as required by the reporting mandate of the convention, Climate Change Convention, there's what we call the nationally determined contribution of every country. Nigeria is supposed to be reporting nationally on how it's doing. What does it mean? Clean energy sources, productive activities that improves the environment. We report all this. We should be seen to be as signatories to that. But what do we have? On one area, we are making some progress. We are making progress. For example, when you hear importation of CNG cars or buses and other. But on the other area, we are polluting the environment, contributing immensely. It's just like, penny wise, pound foolish. If a comprehensive study is carried out within this corridor, especially between the Lagos to that Ogun State axis, where you now have concentration of industries that are not complying to emission standards, then you'll find out that, yes, to a large extent, they're impacting on our climate change commitment.
In the midst of this environmental struggle, it's evident that the health and livelihoods of these communities hang in the balance. The future remains uncertain as pollution persists, while promises of change linger. The story of Ogijo serves as a stark reminder that there is much work to be done to safeguard the well-being of the people and the environment. The rapidly growing African continent of more than 1.3 billion people is losing 5% to 15% of its gross domestic product growth every year to the widespread impacts of climate change. And that's according to Kenya's President William Ruto at the recently concluded Africa Climate Summit held in Nairobi, Kenya. However, some environmental activists share their perspectives on the Africa Climate Meeting.
Come for this conference is that Africa have been able to speak about our drive, innovation and support for the development of Africans, and to see how we can demand for the right of Africans, for the local knowledge, local opportunities, and building sustainable entrepreneurs across the value chain. It's now left for countries to look at this, commitment, or to look at these gaps that was raised or that was created, to use it to influence some actions in their country. Nigerian government have really made some very key points in this meeting. We've made commitment for Paris Agreement. We've made commitment for just transition. We've made commitment for national determined contribution. How will this drive justice? How will this build a future in taking decision step or in delivering sustainable economic future for our people? Technology is good, but how can we localize those technology for our local communities to drive action is what I think is also some internal resources that we need to start looking. We say we have oil in Africa, but how do we make sure that that is not only the source of economic growth? How do we start looking at what we call the indigenous actions? How do we start looking at that? So this can actually help us, our natural resources, to actually grow from fossil fuel to renewable energy sources. Access to funding is very, very key in implementing ideas and projects. So government needs to look at that. And how do we promote green entrepreneurship? Green entrepreneurship is the only solution for the growth of businesses. So Nigerian government needs to look at how we can harness those efforts. And this is going to only be the solution by working together with different ministry, different agencies to come up with concrete solution to our climate problem.
Including women into decision making and as an advice. I know that Nigerian government to some extent has really tried, but that they need to do more. For instance, Nigeria was one of the few countries, and after that, we don't have many countries that have had their national action plan on gender and climate change. Nigeria have that, and it's very robust. They also have the framework of implementation of this action plan. So the question is that, do we have adequate funding for this action plan? And of course, the implementation strategies. Society, we need the people from the academia, we need the women from the businesses to be in this space to understand what actions they should be taking and how it impacts on our continent and Nigeria in particular.
Green Angle returns in just a moment. Stay with us. Following reports of flood crisis triggered by intense rainfall in Lagos, the Environment Commissioner says special attention will be given to heavily blocked drainage systems. Mr. Tokumbo Wahab encourages residents to take ownership of maintaining local drains and desist from building over drainage channels. In recent days, the internet has been flooded with videos of flash floods, wreaking havoc in the coastal city following relentless rainfall over the past week.
Being pushed out of the road.
Many were temporarily displaced, property lost. In response to the crisis, officials from the Ministry of Environment conducted an inspection of the affected areas to assess the extent of work that needs to be done. During their visit to one of the affected areas, the residents were unhappy with the inspection team. They want the government to do more.
They do the canal is too small. When rain fall like this in our shop, we have raised our shop up, but the water is still coming inside.
People do come here at times in the night, come and throw bins, so we are not the one. At times we would stop them, but they wouldn't listen.
There was no problem when they did the canal for the first time. But after they now divert the water from Ahmadiyya, U-turn, all other places, diverted the whole water here. At times, rain will not fall here. If rain fall over there, this canal will fill.
Similar concerns were voiced in Agege, where residents raised issues about canals flooding their homes after heavy rains. Then the team moved to Lagos Island. Here, residents say the water never runs dry. It was quite a sight. One of the drainage channels was filled with non-recyclable plastic, and other sections had poor drainage. After all these inspections, the government urged residents to cooperate with the state in fulfilling its duties, while assuring its commitment to meet the people's needs.
But I know the rain don't really help them. Considering the nature of what they are doing, the kind of construction they are doing. We saw one at Okoba, and they said all the work he had done a couple of times had to be washed away by the flood waters. So, but we won't just rest. We have to put their leg to fire to ensure they do the right thing at the right time and not delay the people.
We got briefing from our, the officers in the ministry, and they gave us good details. And all of us were ready to work together, the civil servants, the entire public service.
That is the phase one, having the capacity to pump that local rainfall into the lagoon and preventing the lagoon from flowing back. That solves the immediate solution now. Long-term solution phase 2 is more of physical development, raising the infrastructure in Lagos Island, and that will take some time.
With projections that coastal cities like Lagos could disappear in the next century due to rising sea levels, it goes without saying that every meaningful action needs to be taken to keep the city afloat for generations to come. And that's about it on this week's edition of Green Angle. Until I come your way next time, remember, together we can build a sustainable world. I am Esther Mokwariola. Bye for now.